Denver, Colorado. A place where snow meets the sun. Where traditions aren't just traditions. Where football is more than just football. Memories of Peyton Manning. Memories of a recent Super Bowl. Can Drew Lock save the franchise? Will Courtland Sutton continue to prove his dominance? What does the accusation of Melvin Gordon mean for Phillip Lindsay? Will Von Miller and this Broncos defense continue to show their dominance? These are your Denver Broncos. Alrighty, what is going on, guys? We are here for episode number 1 of our Denver Broncos franchise. I'm going to give you guys a quick little brief rundown of the team. If you guys... Alrighty, what is going on, guys? We are here for episode number 1 of our Denver Broncos Madden 21 franchise. If you guys enjoyed the little intro, I want you to check out the description. The links to the guy who compiled the clips is down below, as well as the rights to the NFL and the Denver Broncos, because I do not own any of those clips, nor do I own the songs. But I do much appreciate the man who made that intro and allowed me to use it. So we're going to go through the team now, talk a little bit about what we're looking for, what we need. Obviously, the biggest question is, will Drew Lock perform? He came in late last year and showed some pretty good signs of possible greatness. He played really good. I think the Denver Broncos, they had a positive record underneath him. He threw some absolute great passes to Courtland Sutton, but he is still young. 70 overall. They gave him a start. He's 23 though. If you look at his ratings, his throw power is okay. 88 isn't bad. He's decently athletic with the 83 speed, 86 acceleration. So he's a little bit of a cross between the new age quarterback and the old age. He's not the biggest deep ball thrower, but he gets the job done, and that's what we're really looking for. So that's going to be something that we have to look into in this season. Is Drew Lock going to be able to be the quarterback for us, or are we going to have to drop someone, or even give Driscoll a little bit of an opportunity here? So next up, we obviously have a big question at hand. What are the Denver Broncos going to do with these two running backs? They got Melvin Gordon, who they just acquired from the Chargers over the offseason, and then they got Phillip Lindsay, who's an undrafted free agent, who has showed that he's like been amazing. He was a Pro Bowler one year, almost made it the other year, and if you look at his stats, he's been doing pretty good. He's a little bit of a smaller guy at 5'8", 190 pounds, while Melvin Gordon is a little bit taller, but overall they're kind of the same. They're kind of the same back scheme. They're both very elusive. You don't want to let them get into open space, so it's going to be interesting to see what we could do with these two. We also have Royce Freeman, who's no laughing stock either, coming in at 75 overall. We kind of have a three-headed monster here that we're going to have to figure out what to do with. We're going to try to get some of them involved in the passing game and use them as kind of a dual-headed Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon kind of scheme that the Chargers did over the past couple years. Moving on into wide receiver, we obviously have Courtland Sutton, one of the rising stars in the NFL. Only 2 years in, but has had multiple great years. Last year being his biggest. He's not really the speedster that you'd think he is. He's more of a jump ball kind of guy with 92 jumping and a 93 spectacular catch. So they're definitely going for a kind of mold here in Denver, as they also bring in star wide receiver rookie Jerry Jeudy, Alabama. Another kind of big, tall guy with with a little bit more speed than Cortland Sutton. He plays a little bit more of a deep threat / slot player. He's quick, but the one concern with him is he can lack a little bit of catching. He had some problems dropping the ball in at Alabama in college, which is why they only gave him the 81 catching, the 78 catching traffic. But given the right quarterback and under the right circumstances, this man can develop into one of the premier wide receivers in the NFL. Many believe that he was actually the greatest prospect coming out of the draft for wide receiver in years. So we're going to try to mold him into that in the Broncos franchise here. We also have the speedster Hamilton behind him, more so used as a return man, but he is at 88 speed, 90 XL. Nothing too bad there. He's a younger guy, so he still has a lot of room to grow. 25 years old, coming out of Penn State, but a 70 overall. And then, as some of you may know, we also have Tim Patrick here, a little bit older, and once again, a little bit quicker. But we don't really have any premier speedsters on this Denver Broncos team. And another big question is KJ Hamler, who they also drafted, and also out of Penn State, 21 years old. And this is the real fastest guy on this team. So we're going to be looking to get him the ball in his rookie season, see if we can kind of shift his development a little bit more into the speed, into the star category. He's probably going to be our number 3 wide receiver here, and he's going to be our guy catching the deep balls. He's a little bit more of a deep threat, as you see, the 94 speed, 95 acceleration. Deep route, short route, and medium route do need some help, but that's why he was not a first-round pick. You know, he fell a little bit in the draft, but there's absolutely no reason that KJ Hamler can't perform like everyone else and really show this team what he's made of. The offensive line isn't a bad offensive line. We do have our rookie guard who we moved to center, Nate Muti, out of Fresno State. Really good prospect coming out of the draft. He has a hidden dev trait. A lot of people expect him to be pretty good. No one really thinks they're going to move him to center, even though they do need a center. They also drafted another rookie center who they're going to have play there. But we're going to move him to center here just for the sake of the franchise. He's 6'3", 315, which is big enough to play center. He's got good footwork. You watched his tape in college. He was nothing shy of remarkable. So I really have a lot of faith in him. I think he could develop into something pretty good, and really come into the likings of someone like Reisner or something like that. So we also have Dalton here, my boy Dalton, 1 year out of Kansas State, another good young prospect here, really strong, and we're really kind of developing a powerful offensive line here. We had another guy here, a little bit more of a veteran, 6-year veteran, 28 years old. We got Juwan James, getting a little bit up there in age, but he should have a couple more good years. Offensive linemen usually last pretty long in Madden, so the offensive line isn't that bad. We got Graham Glasgow, another good, solid, powerful offensive lineman here. Nothing too bad about that. And then last but not least, we have DeMar Dotson, who's really the veteran of the team, looking to replace him eventually. I believe that if we can get our 2 rookie offensive linemen to develop this season, one of them may be able to fill in at tackle, whether it be Muti or Cushenberry the third here. And then obviously we have Noah Fant, the Broncos first-round draft pick from 2 years ago. A solid tight end, proved himself last year. He's more of a Evan Ingram-styled tight end. He's a little bit faster, not as big, 6'4", 250. So he's a little bit big on the wide receiver end, a little bit small on the tight end, but he is quick with 89 speed. That's faster than some of our receivers. And the blocking attributes do need a little bit of help, but transferring from the NCAA to the NFL, there's always some issues with blocking there. So the offense as of right now looks good. It's going to depend a lot on Drew Lock, what he can do, if he can get the ball to Sutton and Judy and Hamler and try to kind of open up the playbook and really allow Lindsey and Gordon to hit the ground running and spread out the defense a little bit. This Broncos defense, also a very good team. Obviously, the Broncos have been known for their defense for quite some time now. You have Von Miller here, getting up there in age. He's 31, but he is a superstar X Factor, and he's got Fearmonger, along with Adrenaline Rush and no outsiders. So there's nothing really to talk about here. Him here. He's a great linebacker, more so used as a pass rusher, but really can he can drop back into coverage if he needs to, but we probably won't ever be using him for that. Really quick off the edge. He's got some decent acceleration, some decent speed. Obviously, the pursuit and tackling are where it needs to be. He's our highest rated player. There's nothing we really need to be worried about him. He's not really used as a coverage linebacker, like I said, 57 only, but he's a top 5 pass rusher in this league possibly, and we're really going to be using him as that. Also, we have Bradley Chubb, another person who we expect a lot out of. Unfortunately, we lost him to injury last year, and he was not able to play for the Denver Broncos. But we are hoping that Von Miller can kind of guide him, and he can be the second coming almost of Von Miller. As he's a very similar player, not used as a pass defender, more so as a pass rusher. A little bit slower on that end, but we're going to try to get that pursuit and that tackling up, and hopefully Bradley Chubb can take over for Von Miller when he retires here in a couple years. Looking at the middle linebackers, nothing too shabby here with Alexander Johnson, 28 years old. Second year playing, star dev out of Tennessee. We're really hoping that he can kind of come to become one of the best middle linebackers in this league. Gonna try to get that zone coverage up. We do need a little bit more of the pass coverage linebackers. I know the Broncos tend to run with their linebackers being run stoppers, but we do need somebody who's going to be able to drop back into pass, and another good middle linebacker. Good. Kind of on the older end, we're going to need to draft a middle linebacker eventually, but Todd Davis, once again, not a very good pass coverage linebacker, but he is not bad at getting through to the run and getting after these running backs who hit the holes pretty quickly. So 2 good middle linebackers there. As you can see, we don't really have too much depth. We have Jewell here, who, once again, isn't bad. 2 years out of Iowa, another run stopper, but we don't really have the premier pass coverage linebacker. Going into our cornerbacks here, we got A.J. Bouye, who the Broncos have just obtained, formerly on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he kind of got screwed over on his overall. I think he might be a little bit higher, but a good all-around cornerback. He could play man-to-man. He could play the zone. He's quick, and he at one point he was a top 10 cornerback in the league a couple years ago. So we're hoping that here in Bronco he can kind of come to that. I mean, here in Denver he can kind of come back to that place he was and prove that it wasn't just a fluke that one year. Bryce Callahan is also here, getting up there in age, but a really good. He's going to be our slot cornerback. He's a little bit quicker, and 93 speed, 92 acceleration, 87 agility. The tackling is a little bit scary, but he's got high jumping. We're going to be looking at him to get some interceptions this year and hopefully develop into a little bit better of a cornerback while the cornerback room is hurting. Our third cornerback is very lackluster at Isaiah. I honestly don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's young, so we're going to try to get him some snaps here. He's a little bit of a zone cornerback, which is what this team likes. We got 90 speed, 92 acceleration, some decent jumping, and once again the tackling is where we're hurting at only 58. But we're gonna try to develop him. If it doesn't work, we will pick one up in free agency or trade for one. Like I said, there's a lot of people we can really trade on this team, and we're going to be looking to do that. Onto the defensive line, we have Jarrell Casey here, 30 years old, 9 years pro. He's getting a little bit old, but obviously a very good end here. He's more of a finesse rusher, as you could see there in the 87 finesse. Good tackler, good block shedding, good awareness, good play recognition. He's a run stopper, big guy, fill these holes, and we're really going to be a Broncos team that isn't going to let people run on us. Here at the D-tackle position, we are looking a little rough as our number one D-tackle is Mike Purcell out of Wyoming. Only other player that come out of Wyoming that was good was Josh Allen, So it is looking rough, but another big guy who could fill these holes and really try to stop the run game of the opposition. We're going to use him. We might be looking to D-tackle in the draft. I don't know how good the franchise is hoping the D-tackle is in the draft, but worst comes to worst, we can always move Covington up to D-tackle, and hopefully that'll be a little bit better than Purcell here. Next up on the opposite end, we have Shelby Harris, another old guy. This line is going to need some rebuilding here in the upcoming years. Another big guy, run stopper. A little bit smaller than the other tackle and end positions we have, but still a good run stopper. Powerful man with 76 power moves, big tackling and big strength. And we're going to be looking at him to stop the run over there on the left side. So hopefully he comes and he can help us. If not, this line's going to be looking a little rough, but hopefully that is not the case. All right, so like I was saying, Kareem Jackson here, a little bit of an older guy, but a great, strong less to pair with our other safety on the other side. 88 speed. He's getting a little slow. When you get into your old age, the athleticism kind of catches up to you. But Kareem Jackson, a solid safety, almost up to a almost up to a 90 overall. Good tackling, good pursuit. We shouldn't have any issues with him. We're hoping that he can stay here for a little bit and play. He might retire after this year, but we're gonna hope he doesn't. And finally, and rounding out the defense, we have the superstar free safety Justin Simmons, arguably the second best player on this defense, coming in with, what ability does he have? He has pick artist and deep in zone KO. So obviously this guy he's young. He's only 26. He's got his best years ahead of him. He's not that quick, but he is a jumper. He is a guy who's going to be getting a lot of interceptions. He's got the stamina. He's got the awareness. We're going to be looking to him to have a big year. We need him if we're going to have any help in this pass rush, in this pass defense. He's going to be the premier defensive player outside of Von Miller, so we need him to have a big year and just overall completely wipe any passes that are coming his way out. So moving on to the special teams, we have KJ Hamler here. Going to be our kick returner and our punt returner. Probably the best returner on the team. So he's going to return kicks for us, whether it be on the punting end or the kicking end. As a kicker, we have McManus. No reason to change that. Star dev, 76 overall. We're probably going to keep him here for most of the season, most of the franchise. And we got Martin here as our punter. And then these two don't really matter. But Martin and McManus should be here for quite a while. Nothing to worry about there. And then KJ Hamler will return our kicks. For our specialists, we're going to have Jerry Jeudy be our slot wide receiver, because slot wide receivers seem to be the best not only in the sim, but also for me, I tend to use them a lot. Melvin Gordon will get his snaps on third down, as well as when we need a power back to come in. Kind of pushing away Royce Freeman. Don't really need him as much, but Lindsey will be our first and second down backs, and Gordon will be our third and power backs, as well as, I forgot to check this, I think Gordon's catch rating should be pretty high. 68, which isn't very good, but it's probably higher than Lindsey's. I know he's never really been a premier catchback, but 65, yeah. So we might use Gordon in the passing game and Lindsey. We'll try to get that up. Our left end will be Von Miller, because we're not gonna only rush 3 every snap. He'll be the one rushing for us. Sub linebacker Johnson, a little bit of a little bit quicker of a linebacker, smaller as well. But this is how the team's shaping up. I'm ready to get into the season. In the next episode, we'll hop into our preseason. And, I hope you guys are excited. If you are, please leave a like button down below. Lets me know you guys are hyped for the series, just like I am. Let me know what you guys are most excited for in the comments. Let me know who your favorite player on the Denver Broncos is. And I will see you all in tomorrow's episode. Peace out.